Broadcasting live from Inkmoth Nexus on the plane of someone's arm, this is Tap Tap Concede. Welcome everybody to Tap Tap Concede. My name is Graham and I'm here with Cameron.
Hello.
And Nelson.
I am also here.
And we're going to be talking about a bunch of different things this week. Some updates on news and more announcements from Wizards of the Coast. But first, a reminder, of course, that this show is brought to you by Card Kingdom. Do check out cardkingdom.com/LRR. And a reminder that we send you there because we like them. We think they're great. And they're shipping again. And please do order your singles from there whence you need them again. You can order sealed product as well, anywhere in the US, or out of print sealed product anywhere in the world. And if you tell them Loading Ready Run sent me button, please, they'll give you a little 1-inch button which says sideboarding is an admission of defeat.
What's that? The Card Kingdom warehouse is open again? Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
But they're shipping again? Oh, I'm just kidding. I know because I just received a package that I'm planning to order in a couple of days.
Take that, linear time.
That's right. Eat that space-time continuum. Card Kingdom drops mic on you.
And of course, this show and everything we do is brought to you by you and your kind support of the Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. So, a couple things to talk about. First of all, just a brief update on, hopefully brief, on some stuff that we talked about last week, because we were talking about double masters and the annoyance that some people had about the Fetchlands not being in it. And I had asked, sort of like what the actual objection was. And I got a lot of feedback, both here and on Twitter, about why Fetchlands need a reprint. And I obviously was unclear, and so this is a me problem in that I understand why they need to be reprinted, and moreover, I agree with you. They definitely need to be reprinted. Don't worry, I am on your side. I was mostly just sort of curious about why people were annoyed about them not being in Double Master specifically, especially when Wizards had said, yeah, they're not in this one, but they will be later in the year. And I am inferring from the responses that it has less to do with Double Masters specifically, and the annoyance was a combination of Double Masters, a master set, which will be very expensive. In fact, it is now unpriced, but was temporarily priced on the Wizards Amazon page at like $16 a booster. We don't actually know if that's what they are going to sell for, which is why I didn't mention it last time, because it had gone up at 16 and then gone down, and maybe it's back now. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, so there's that aspect, and then also just the overall just sort of exhaustion that they haven't reprinted Fetchlands in a meaningful way yet, and this was another sort of no, not yet. And so I understand that frustration. What I wanted to talk about, though, is that somebody on the Magic subreddit by the username of Tascal put together a list. They were sort of like, okay, what do we know? Like, let's actually talk about this. What do we know about what sets it could even be in, right? Where could the Fetchland reprint even show up at this point? Yeah. Things that Wizards has said is it's coming in 2020, like a further reprint, not the Secret Lair. Like we know about that was announced a while ago. That's not what they're talking about. So it's coming this year. It's not a standard legal set. It's an LGS exclusive product, and it is a set, not another Secret Lair. Though they might also do a Secret Lair, the other 5 at some point, but that's not what they're talking about here. And so Tascal basically ran down the list of like, oh, okay, what can it not be in? All right, what can the Fetchlands not be in? Well, can't be in Zendikar Rising or the collector boosters for Zendikar Rising, because those are all standard legal. Could be masterpieces technically, but only if they somehow make the masterpieces LGS exclusive, which they could do, but that's not something they've done in the past. Technically could be in Jumpstart, but that seems very unlikely given the mission statement of Jumpstart as a new player. Well, as a Jumpstart.
Yep.
I would love it if they were in Jumpstart. I think that'd be pretty funny. But yes, I agree with you. Kind of wrong.
Yeah, that would be funny, but no. A Modern Horizons 2, which doesn't work because, I mean, unless they change their plan here, the first Modern Horizons was cards that are not already legal in Modern.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the Fetchlands are already legal in Modern. So, but maybe they're like, it's cards that have never been legal in Modern before. And the Fetchlands is, I guess. They've said it won't be in Double Masters. They are available as a bonus if you buy the entire Summer Superdrop Secret Lair, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But they've also said that's also not the reprint they're talking about. Also, it's not a set, and it's not LGS exclusive, which doesn't leave us with many options. But one of them is Commander Legends.
Kind of makes sense. Like, Commander players do like Fetchlands.
So yeah, that's the sort of it's like technically possible to be Jumpstart. Technically have they announced Modern Horizons 2? Am I just forgetting this completely, or is this a theory crafting post? I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, that wouldn't be LGS exclusive either. But Commander Legends is meant to be an LGS product, and it's a set, and it's not standard legal. So I guess that has to be it.
It could be an unannounced product, right?
Also, that's the whammy option, is like maybe it's something that we actually don't know what it could possibly be. But I think the safest bet is that it's Commander Legends. Then it brings the question of how much is Commander Legends going to be per pack. That's going to be the scary thing. But anyway, I just thought this was an interesting thread about, like, we actually have a lot of information here, and we can do some pretty easy elimination of a bunch of forthcoming products because we're almost halfway through the year.
Yeah, I have never heard of Modern Horizons 2, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Yeah, I think this is maybe like a what if on that particular one.
Yeah.
Certainly the success of Modern Horizons seems to indicate that there should or ought to be a Modern Horizons 2, but I don't recall its announcement either. But there's so many Magic sets these days that all three of us just forgetting that Modern Horizons 2 is scheduled for a release on August 16th or whatever, like that, it wouldn't surprise me that much that we're all just forgetting.
I feel like they're not going to do Modern Horizons in the same calendar year as they're going to do Double Masters.
Sure.
Yeah.
Unless they just want to spring it on us for Christmas or something. Like, how much lead time did Ultimate Masters have? Was it like a week?
Maybe they'll release Oops All Shuffling Masters for Christmas, and it'll take us 90 minutes to play a game.
Finally, we get a new art for Sadistic Sacrament.
Ooh. Oh, man. Live to kick Sadistic Sacrament.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to drafting this set. The one we just made up on the spot.
The one we made up, not the real one. The one that, that may or may not even exist. So
who drafts real sets anymore?
I think it's fair to guess that whichever or however Commander Legends lands price-wise, it's probably going to be cheaper than Double Masters. So if the Fetchlands had to end up in a set this year that was not standard, probably better that one.
Well, keep in mind, we don't even know if Commander Legends is going to have normal sized packs.
We do know that it will not have normal sized packs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
20 card packs.
Oh, we do know that they're 20 card packs. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's maybe edit that, or don't. It's fine. Nelson forgot, as he earlier explained he would do.
I mean, if you keep talking about it, then it's harder for me to remove it.
No, I've changed my mind. No edits. I mean, editing something out of this podcast is actually kind of a real thing now, which is neat. But back when Heather used to do the editing, it was a bit of a meme that I would pretend that we were going to edit something when I knew there was no chance she was doing that. Anyways, what was I talking about? Yes, 20 card packs. are going to cost more than 15 card packs for sure, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully they won't cost as much as Double Masters. I want to speak on the topic of Double Masters being expensive, and
Yeah.
probably it's outrageous. I'm going to wait and see what it actually costs the LGSs to get the boxes shipped to them and what I end up having to pay for my packs of Double Masters I'm going to want. But if it has 2 rares, it's essentially 2 packs, right? So you do have to factor the math in like that, right? We buy packs mostly for the rares and for the experience of drafting.
Yeah, someone did a breakdown as well of like, that even if they are at the $16, it's technically cheaper per rare than other master sets. But I mean, that of course will depend entirely on what rares are in it, what the overall theoretical EV of a double masters pack is. But it's probably even at a higher price, it's probably a higher EV per pack if you're talking about just pure busting packs open for the rares.
Yeah, or if you're talking about drafting and then planning to sell your rares afterwards, right? Like that's a calculation everyone has to do,
Yeah.
Based on the entry fee of a draft, the prize structure of the draft, and the likelihood that they can sell cards to pay for the entry fee of the draft. So, just the packs being more expensive doesn't actually make them less appealing. We have to see what cards are in the set, and then we have to find out, where exactly the price point comes after that. And also what rarities the cards are in the set. If everything that's good is mythic, then a higher price point for a pack is really impactful.
Yeah.
Whereas if there's a bunch of really playable uncommons, then suddenly a high price point is no big deal.
So I guess we'll have to see. But the supposition is somewhere around like $16, which seems awfully high.
Really, that seems fine to me if it's like it's a master's set, right? So if I were to pay $16 US for 2 packs of Ultimate Masters, I think feel pretty comfortable with that.
True. I just mean, so I'm coming at this is why I should specify things. Coming at it from the position of I want to do a draft of it.
Right.
Right. If this is going to be twice as much as doing a modern masters draft was at the time, obviously they're more expensive now. Then it's like, that's 3 packs of that is like like $48 once like tax and everything, and then it's like that's a hefty draft. So yeah, I mean, again, it depends on like you know the experience of drafting and the potential shot at prizes is not nothing, but I hope I can turn whatever rares I open and don't play with into something at the dealer's table afterwards, assuming we ever go back to playing Magic in person.
Yeah, and like, buyer experience may vary. You're going to get a different deal out of this $16 per pack if you are drafting with your buddies or you're like drafting with your shipmates and there's no LGS dealer table nearby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I suppose if I do get to paper draft this, that it's got to count, right? I forget how many times I was able to actually paper draft the original Modern Masters, but it definitely was in the building when it happened, right? It put a dent in the wallet, and this is going to be a little harder than that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Committing to drafting Storm in Modern Masters, maybe it wasn't the greatest idea when I was paying that much for it. Maybe draft something safe.
Like giants.
Yeah, right? Rebels. Fight with the 3 other drafters who are drafting Rebels at your table.
Just be the 4th person on the table who's trying to get into Dredge. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, it'll work. It'll totally work. We have no payload and no enablers, but this is going to be great.
So what if you are the person, this hypothetical person who has been the center of much online discourse over the past week, the Magic collector with disposable income? What else do you have coming your way this summer? Well, Wizards revealed the details of the Summer Superdrop of their Secret Lair drop series. Now, back when they announced Secret Lair Fetchlands, Blake in the video on Prof's channel, the Tolarian Community College, said that there would be a summer super drop of 5 drops in the same sort of vein that they did the original Secret Lair rollout, where there's 5 different drops, each available for a 24-hour period over 5 consecutive days, or you can buy the whole thing all as one giant bundle. And now we know what those are. So on June 1st, it is Full Sleeves, the tattoo pack. And this is all art by tattoo master Josh Howard. And it is alternate art versions of Ink Moth Nexus, Pithing Needle, Eternal Witness, Blood Artist, and Spell Pierce. I guess Eternal Witness because tattoos are forever. I think that's the joke there. Because Ink Moth Nexus, Pithing Needle, Blood Artist, and Spell Pierce, that all makes sense from a tattoo pun perspective.
Eternal Witness is there because it's something you put on your body and it stays there as long as you do.
Yeah.
So it's like you write down a memory, or you draw a memory, or you pay homage to a person, right?
Yeah.
Or you memorialize someone. Yeah.
It's like your aunts or uncles always tell you that tattoo is forever, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Long after you and your children and your children's children have long since passed into dust, that patch of skin will drift through the cold fabric of space forever until time itself comes to an end.
In fact, the flavor text on the Secret Lair Eternal Witness is,
Our lives are etched on our bodies, memories illustrated on skin.
thank you. I also quite like the one on Blood Artist, which is great art requires pain, but not necessarily the artists, which is good. So yeah, it's all 5 of these. If you're watching the video version, you'll be seeing illustrations of it at the moment. Done in sort of a very classic tattoo style. Sailor Jerry comes to mind as the influence here.
Yeah, like traditional American, I think it's called, this tattoo style, where it's like each tattoo is just one little portrait of something that's kind of self-contained, and then acquiring a bunch of them is usually just each part of your body has its own little thing going on.
And the way the colors and the shading are done is just, it's very much like the things that you see on the wall in the tattoo shop.
Yeah. 2 of them kind of have a background, but 3 of them don't. And it's more familiar. And they all have like a kind of, I suppose, white person skin kind of background to them behind the main art. They're quite pretty. I really like these ones. I haven't bought any Secret Lairs yet, but I'm very seriously considering this one.
Oh, interesting. It's conversely, I have never been a fan of this style of tattoo. So I was like, oh, neat. I definitely don't need to get this one. So,
well, I think as soon as they release the like traditional Japanese magic card tattoo alternate stylings, I'm going to have to get my credit card out right away.
Damn. Like if they did one with like, let's not get back into our previous discussion. If they did one with, say, Shocklands, for example, or God, even basics but that look like Hanafuda cards, that's that's a strong option for me. But yeah.
Take my money.gif, right?
Yeah. The next, so that's on June 1st. On June 2nd is Can You Feel with a Heart of Steel? Which, now this one only has 3 cards, and it's I should have said actually that I'll give these all in US dollars. The full sleeves, the tattoo pack, was $30 for 5 cards. This one is the most expensive of these at $40, and is the only one with there's another one that's $40, but this is $40 for 3 cards. So I mean, I guess I know the cards are good. We have Darksteel Colossus, Arcbound Ravager, and Walking Ballista. Walking Ballista looking like some kind of Megatron over here.
Yeah. This one leverages the full power of Hasbro's barn of brands, I guess. But yeah, definitely, this is some form of Megatron.
The artist is credited as Bad Flip Productions. I've just looked them up. The art of Ken Christensen, and I believe that this artist has indeed done, yes, okay, a lot of work for Transformers. Good, okay. I'm glad that we were able to establish that particular lineage.
These ones, it's worth noting, are also full art with a what's it called? I guess no background colors inside of the text box and type line. So it's not textless, but it is just text over top of art all the way through the card. So that's quite handsome.
Yeah, they don't actually have a unified theme, I guess, in terms of the art, but yeah, they are the full art with text style that they've done before, and just really pretty cool looking. That's on June 2nd. The next one, The Path Not Traveled. This was really cool. They this was spoiled by a bunch or revealed by a bunch of cosplayers, because the theme here is planeswalkers, but what if planeswalkers did something else with their lives? So this one's $40 US for 4 cards of Ajani Steadfast, Domri Raid, Tamio Field Researcher, and Vraska Golgari Queen. But Ajani is some kind of Marvel superhero. Like, specifically, he looks like Cable.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got like Cable's outfit, but obviously looks a bit like Beast because he's a Johnny.
Yeah.
But yeah, looks a bit like Cable, right?
Sad you can see his feet.
Yeah.
Sad you can see his feet.
It's very Rob Liefeld in its design, yes. Domri Raid is dressed like a cowboy riding a giant boar. Tamio Field Researcher is some kind of like noir-looking detective. And Vraska is a beauty pageant queen?
Yeah, prom queen, I guess.
She's prom queen of some kind. Yeah, exactly. Or
swarm form, it says in the background.
Maybe she's Miss Golgari, swarm queen, it says. So
swarm formal.
Swarm formal.
So yeah, very cool rollout with all the cosplayers getting to introduce these cards.
Mm-hmm. So kind of a fun set there. The next one on June 4th, back down to $30 here for 4 cards, but they're all the same card. This Secret Lair is called Mountain Go, and it's 4 different full art reprints of Lightning Bolt. Not textless, just full art, but some very cool designs here. New art from Alexis Zirit, Noah Bradley, Robbie Trevino, and Brigitte Roca, which has a bear on it, which I saw some people on Twitter say like, okay, we accept the canon that in this case the lightning bolt is coming out of the bear.
See, I always assumed that this was like something specific getting just absolutely totaled by lightning bolt, right? Like you have a zombie, you have a knight, you have a bear, and you have there's dragon. Also a dragon here getting totaled by one. But maybe it's the 3 toughness dragon.
Maybe as part of the maybe that's a whelp or something, or just a dragon that already got blocked by an angel,
or perhaps a wind drake. Maybe it's a wind drake.
Noticeably missing, I don't know if it's time to stop talking about these lightning bolts. I think they're gorgeous, but there's no bird getting bolted. So maybe that's part of the super drop series, is the birds are not being destroyed with fire this time.
That is surprising, actually. Yeah. I think that first one might be it looks like it's got horns. It might not be a zombie. It might be some sort of wizard. It looks a bit like a Tim the Enchanter reference.
Ooh.
I could be wrong. I don't know.
Could see that.
Fair enough. Right. Yeah. Could be it does have a staff and like the big collar.
They all look great, but as we were saying just before we went live, Noah Bradley's is striking. It's very cool. Just big, very angular, geometric zigzag of a lightning bolt coming out of, I don't know, a dying star. Like what? I don't know what's happening in here, but it looks amazing.
Yeah, they are all gorgeous, though. I do want to give all the artists credit. These are fantastic to look at.
And then speaking also of excellent art, and I do appreciate the joke. The last one for the Summer Superdrop on June 5th is called Ornithological Studies, and it's reprints of Baleful Strix, Birds of Paradise, Dovescape, Gilded Goose, and Swan Song, all with just very realistic drawings of birds.
Yeah, I like this one a lot, to be
It's
honest.
kind of amazing.
Yeah, they're very kind of like Audubon Society kind of, yeah, studies of
Yeah.
birds. And I love that they've preserved the baleful Strix's eyes.
Mm-hmm. I like the new flavor text on Baleful Strix is some superstitious persons believe that owls, being creatures of the night, are agents of evil, but those who make such claims see only the reflections of their own guilty consciences.
Nuh-uh, you.
I like how they are actually totally normal birds, although the gilded goose does have golden feather tips on its back half. But the swan and the doves and the baleful strix, or the owl, and the birds of paradise are just normal of those birds. That's actually pretty. It's fairly muted as far as a birds of paradise is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, I would have gone for personally the one from Planet Earth, the one that does a little dance by hiking up its skirts and moving back and forth a bunch.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, when the first time you see that episode of Planet Earth and you watch that little bird like pull up its skirts and dance around, I screamed. Right? If I saw that in nature, I would have absolutely just punted that thing.
Just drop kick it through the jungle.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, get away from me, punt. And I feel that that is most people's initial reaction when your opponent goes Forest Bird of Paradise.
What about the one that turns from a totally normal bird shape into a giant oval with a Cheshire cat grin?
Yeah, that one was also not okay.
I watched an entire documentary on birds of paradise, and there's one whose mating display dance requires a supporting cast of 3 other males that act as backup dancers.
Whoa.
It has hype men?
Yeah, they practice as a troupe. They have like a choreographed dance thing, and then if successful, the other, it's very clear who's the one in charge, even though all 4 of them look identical. And then so they do the whole dance, and then the other 3 retreat to a branch further away and are sort of like, yeah, Jerry, come on. And then if successful, then they all get to watch. It's really weird.
That's strange.
I assume at some point one of them gets to graduate to first trumpet or whatever the hell.
Yeah, like,
but
I assume they do this 4 times, right? For each one of the birds. But with somebody new.
Doesn't seem to be that way, at least not in the same mating season. Because they practice. They have a juvenile male whose coloring hasn't come in yet act as a stand-in for the females. They're like, okay, so she'll be standing there. Now I need you over there and you this way. All right. And they do a whole, this is what happens when birds don't have to worry about food.
Right.
Like that's the whole thing. It's like, it's the jungle, food is plentiful, so what do we have to waste our time on? I know, mating.
Let's just be beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to thank the female birds of this species for forcing this to happen.
Oh yeah, no, it's
through
great.
their choices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have to worry about food either, and all I do is play video games. Maybe I should have learned to dance.
There's still time.
There is still time.
Download TikTok, son.
Yep. So anyway, these are very realistically rendered drawings of birds from Ovidio Cartagena and Alan Douglas, and they look great, even though I'm sort of like, these almost don't even look like magic cards, just because they're so like, it's like, yes, that is a bird. Yes, that is what a swan looks like. Huh. So
this, oddly enough, this is the one that tempts me the most.
Yeah, no, I understand why. And then, of course, there is the Summer Superdrop bundle that will be available between June 1st and 15th if you want to get all 5 of them. And as was announced back when the Fetchlands Secret Lair was announced, if you get the bundle, you also get a random Fetchland, one of the enemy Fetchlands.
That's a pretty good tip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that works out to as good of a tip as, what is it, 20 or so stained glass planeswalkers, but still pretty good. And it's neat that they're telling you what you get as opposed to surprising you.
Well, I mean, I think the assumption, just because they've always seemed to have done it, the assumption is that there'll be something else snuck into the pack. Like there might still be stained glass walkers in there somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, both would be fantastic.
I believe up until now, all other secret lairs have had a stained glass planeswalker in the box as well as an added bonus. I could be wrong.
What, Graham, you with all of your resources haven't been purchasing every single secret lair?
You know what? I haven't, but I have gotten a couple of them. The which I've accomplished by having them shipped to a friend of mine in the US, because shipping to Canada, not amazing, but they have apparently improved shipping to the UK and the EU to the point that the orders in Europe now has free shipping from the EU and UK sites for purchases of at least 99 euros before VAT. So
Okay.
that serves the UK and EU places serve a lot of countries over there. So good news for anyone in the UK, and pretty good shipping, it looks like, for the US. Canada, for us, the problem is the import charges, because Canada just don't like paper. We get a lot of customs duty on importing these for paper. Anyway,
speaking of paper and cards made out of paper, there was
Magic the Gathering.
Exactly. The smoothest possible segue in the history of segues.
Just make it as generally as possible, right?
Yeah, it's exactly.
Like buttery smooth.
Speaking about things, there's going to be another announcement around the same time coming up this Monday, I believe, regarding the companion mechanic. We talked about this on the last podcast, that it was, teased through the Banner Restricted announcement that they might address the mechanic, i.e. like errata the whole rules, which I don't believe we've ever seen before. And the rules for an entire mechanic, at least. There's been some errata obviously on cards lots of times, but they still haven't told us exactly what's coming. But I'm just trying to find the tweet. I thought it was Magic Esports that did it, but maybe it was just Wizards Magic. Anyways, it mentioned that it's going to be the mechanic coming, not necessarily that any of the cards will be banned, although possibly that is what's going to happen. But yeah, we talked, I shared all my thoughts more or less about this last week, but I'm just still like a little flabbergasted and very curious. Like can't wait to see what's gonna come of this. Update to the banner strip list impacting standard and historic that will also address the companion mechanic. I found it.
Yeah, and there's a clip from the there's a Twitch clip on the subreddit from the Magic TV, the from the weekly Magic show, where Blake is quoted as saying that the banner restricted announcement will change the companion mechanic.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you for adding that.
So there's some theories from the thread about if you do the London Mulligan when you reveal your companion, or other thoughts. So I don't know, it'd be interesting. As someone else points out, whatever they change it to won't have been tested to the extent that the existing companion mechanic was.
Yeah, I mean, it's been so long since we've had a standard format that was the exact standard format that the Future League tested. Like, every time they ban a card, it's like, okay, well, the testing for the next 6 to 18 months worth of cards was done with this other important cards in people's decks and playing next to those cards, and then they banned it. So yeah, we should be, this is just the reality of the Fire philosophy, right? Like we have to know that the bannings and the changes to rules and stuff are going to force everyone to deal with the fact that R&D is kind of thinking on their feet.
I think we got into it pretty well last episode, just sort of when we were discussing that it was even on the table to change the mechanic, and now that it sounds like that's now that it sounds like that is definitely what is happening, it's still sort of like, wow, that is weird. That is going to be a weird thing. So yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that, of course, we are recording this on May 28th, and you'll be hearing it because this goes live the morning that this announcement comes out. So that's sort of unavoidable and a little awkward that you'll know before we will, I guess, in that regard. But yeah.
Or maybe if you haven't checked yet, you can find out right now. Think of the power you have in this conversation. You're listening to us, and we want to know what the change is going to be, but you can just go Google it. You're welcome, future listeners.
Yeah, if you don't already know more than we do, wait for a moment, and then soon you can.
So they might also ban cards from standard or historic. I guess I'm looking forward to that in general. I've been playing a fair bit of standard, and I feel like it's a little stale. There's some kind of top decks, and I haven't gotten into a play pattern that felt fresh and interesting lately. Although it is still cool that some of the decent decks in the format are cheap. We talked about that a bunch. The cycling deck being pretty cheap, and I'm looking forward to checking out a new format. It's exciting.
They better keep their filthy mitts off my cycling deck.
Oh, I don't think Flickering Fox Factor Math Problem Solving Fox is going to get banned.
Foction.
Yes, Fighter Foction.
Yeah.
Flighter Fox.
Speaking of standard, at time of episode airing, Nelson, will you have been in the Arena Open this past Saturday?
I haven't decided yet whether or not I will play the Arena Open, although I have gotten permission from my family to play in it. But I've been trying to play a little bit of standard this week when I have time, and I just haven't been as excited about the format as I was a month ago. When if Fluttering Foxia first came out, I was pretty excited and wanted to try a bunch of different things. And now I just feel like I don't super want to play Yorion. I did want to play Yorion at first, and then when everyone else started doing it, I was like, oh, okay, this actually isn't really my style. And I also don't want to lose to Yorion. It wasn't even Fluttering Fox. It was Flourishing Fox. Of course it was Flourishing Fox, because it just keeps getting bigger. Well,
I don't even bother learning card names.
Good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
I choose to continue to be defeated by card names. That's my lot in life. It's a
courageous stance, and I respect it.
Thank you. So yeah, there's a chance. I do like playing Magic.
Oh, thank goodness.
I don't have a current deck for standard that I'm on that I'm actually like very enthusiastic about. And I prefer to have a deck that I'm excited to play if I'm going to spend a whole day playing Magic, right? Like if I'm going to drive to Vancouver for a PTQ, I want to know that I'm stoked to shuffle my deck and sit across from other people and hand my deck to other humans and let them cut and shuffle it and call a judge who then whispers to me 2 feet away from the table, and we're standing right next to each other. Sorry, I'll snap out of it. I'm going to be okay.
I mean, good. I'm glad.
I'm fine. Don't worry about me.
This is a best of 1, 7 wins or 3 losses asynchronous queue. So, maybe it's a little easier to play even if you're not 100% committed to the deck.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's only 9 games total, or 10. Can you play 10 games if it's best 3 losses and 7 wins? Yeah, so
no,
it's
you 9. The max you can play is 9 because it's you
9
get 7
games,
wins or 3 losses, which and it's
right.
And there's no waiting for pairings either. It's just you jam right into the next one. So
All right, I lied. I'm definitely going to play.
Okay.
I was thinking,
I could be through that queue in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I can lose so quickly.
Cycle, lose. Okay.
Didn't hit my land
cycle,
drop.
Cycle, lose.
I put the cycling deck together, and I don't play constructed on my Arena account, so it's been tearing up the bronze queues. I tell you what.
Yeah, I've been piloting that deck all the way to the basement of the silver rankings, and it feels good.
Love those bronze queues. I think I'm in gold 2 right now, but
you know how some days you just sit on the couch and eat an entire box of plain saltines?
Some days.
Yeah, that's what playing the cycling deck is like. You're just like, oh, weird, it's over. I guess I'm done.
I inadvertently slow rolled somebody with it because they were at 15, or they were at higher than 15 or whatever. But I could flare for 14. And I had no attack that brought them down to 14, but I figured, all right, well, I'll just put myself in better position for the next turn. So I just attacked with all my things, and they made some blocks. And one of them was them trading for a Dranith Healer, which then is a card with cycling that goes to my graveyard. And the attack took them down to 15. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, ugh, they're at 15, one off. What do I do?
Might as well concede. Guess I'm dead.
What do I? No, I mean, I was just gonna pass the turn, but then I was like, well, I think I'll hit them with the flare now, so they're at 1. So the next turn, if I draw another, reads card. Oh, and I just killed him. And I'm like, because one more card went in my bin, and I'm like, I should. This is the kind of testing one should do before one actually tries to roll up. I'm going to be playing this on stream. By the time you're hearing this, I will have played this on stream, and I'm not worried about doing like a delay or anything. I'm just like, whatever. So, but I figured I should be a little less, whatever than welcome to the first time I'm ever playing this deck. So,
So are you streaming it the previous Saturday on your channel, or is it on LRR?
No, it's going to be on LRR. It's
great.
Yeah, it'll be again, by the time you're hearing this, it will have happened, but there'll be a VOD of it probably on this YouTube channel at some point fairly soon. So, we got that going for us.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on qualifying for day 2 of the Arena Open, Graham. Well played.
Thank you.
Are you streaming that as well? Did you also stream that?
Yes. I also streamed me unsuccessful on day 2. That's sort of where that's where I end up on GPs.
Sorry you punked out and only got 200 gems on day 2.
But hey, the coverage team did like your deck.
That's right.
Are they doing coverage?
I have no idea.
I don't think I've gotten an email about it, but that doesn't mean they're not doing it.
I would hope that they would.
That'd be sweet, but I mean, it's the Arena Open, I believe, just run kind of by Wizards or by the Arena dev team or whatever. It's not run by Channel Fireball, so I don't know. And I don't know that, did Channel Fireball have coverage for their big event last weekend? Because they also had a sort of free to get in if you're paying for Channel Fireball Pro event on Arena that had, I think, 500 players, but I'm not sure if it had coverage either. And they're also still doing Players Tour LCQs, but also they don't have coverage. So I think possibly coverage is ended. Sniff.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be back at some point.
Yeah, I guess the other thing to talk about is that there was a rumor. I mean, again, this is just a rumor, but that Channel Fireball events would not be continuing to exist into next year, which sort of leaves a big old question mark on the future of live Magic events. Not that I think live Magic events will stop happening. I think that there's no way for CFB events to predict when they will be happening again and in what scope, and that sucks.
Yeah. Important to note here that, this is a rumor. It might be true, but we haven't gotten an official statement, I don't think, from Channel Fireball. But Channel Fireball Events is a separate company from Channel Fireball. If you didn't already know that, this doesn't mean that Channel Fireball is going belly up or anything. And Channel Fireball Events, I believe, is only about 3 years old. Mm-hmm. Maybe this is their 4th year. Maybe it was beginning of 2016 when they got the contract to run all of the Grand Prix or Magic Fests, or maybe it was 2017. So, yeah, something like that. And possibly this year, because of the global pandemic and some other things, they might dissolve this company, but maybe will possibly end up being reinstated. They'll maybe form as a company again in the future. That's one chance. It also could just be a rumor and CFB events isn't going away.
Yeah.
Or maybe the direction of Magic Fests will just change by the time we can have Magic Fests.
Yeah.
It's also possible.
I look forward to, at least in the short term, getting back into our studio where we can't edit all of those things that you and I got wrong this podcast, Nelson.
Yeah.
Cam hasn't gotten a damn thing wrong.
I'm like a rock over here.
How's your bread going?
Dude, it's so good.
Yeah?
I'll bring you a loaf. I'll make more bread tomorrow and I'll bring you a loaf.
Oh,
Ooh.
I'm honestly really excited about that.
Oh god, I just lied in front of everyone. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, what's going
you're
on
not
here?
doing that.
Is
There's
this
no way you're
bread
bringing
real?
there's no way you're bringing me bread.
Hey, we did it. We shamed Cam.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
we can just edit that out, though. We can edit that out. Nobody has to know that I lied.
Oh yeah. I'll make sure to edit that out.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
who would it be? Who would it be that wouldn't know that you lied? Would it be perhaps our fabulous patrons over at the Patreon? People keeping the lights on in all of our houses now that the moon base is a ghost town?
A breadless ghost town.
A breadless ghost town with not even a grain.
I think anyone who has gotten to the point of supporting us on Patreon knows exactly what they're getting out of Cam.
Wow, okay. Whoa. All right then, fine. I suppose you're right. Yes, they do, don't they?
They deserve to know now if they didn't already.
I just don't think they'll be shocked, is my point.
Kind of hurtful.
Yeah, I feel like we've twisted the knife enough now that possibly Cameron is going to actually bake this loaf of bread for you, Graham, just so that he can spit on it all the way to your
And
house.
hurl it through my window.
That's right, yeah. Wrap it in bricks.
Tie a brick to it, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so the bread has something to cushion it.
Yeah.
This bread will not need a brick to go through a window, let me tell you what.
Oh, that's how good it's going.
Wake up to the sound of glass shattering. Kathleen asked me what the heck's going on, and I'm like, that's probably our bread delivery.
I paid for a new service, you see.
Yeah. You've heard of the milkman. I don't have a good segue to also remind you that Card Kingdom sponsors this show, and they're great. Do check out cardkingdom.com/LRR. Thank you.
They're great.
They're so great.
You can't buy bread from them though.
Yet.
Unless you go to Cafe Mox sometime that's not now.
That's right. They might be open for takeout. I'm not sure. But you can buy bread spelled capital B, capital R, capital E, capital D. Woo!
Which is not even like really a thing anymore with the way that sets are designed now.
Graham, let me have my hilarious joke. It was very funny, and everyone who's listening appreciated it.
That's true. I mean, I appreciated it. I'm sorry.
I can tell.
I did. Hey,
Well,
Cam,
on behalf of...
can you send my bread to Nelson instead? I think as a token of kindness.
I mean, Nelson, you live on the 3rd floor, right?
Yeah, my windows are higher than your, Graham's.
Oh, I'll just, throw this like a 6-year-old bowling, right? 2 hands from between the legs.
The granny throw.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we called it on the playground.
I have no good way to extract us from whatever this episode has become. So
no, we have another 10 minutes, I think, right now. That's what's going on. We're just going to keep pretending to end this podcast.
We could end it like the Pythons do, where just like we all get arrested because it's become too silly.
I love it.
Excellent. Well, then this is over then. Thanks everybody for listening. I'm Graham.
I'm Cameron.
I'm Nelson.
And Paul was here also doing the card reader. Thank you everybody for listening, and we'll talk to you next time on this very silly podcast.